So here it is, the end of the year, time for some goals, change, hopefully to reinvent yourself, whether it's health, wellness, maybe your career change, which we're going to tackle today. Um, there's no reason to wait. There's no reason for it to have to be around the first of the calendar year. At the time this video is being shot, if you're watching it live, obviously we're coming up on New Year's. If you're watching it and it's recorded, it doesn't matter. Don't wait for New Year's. When you look at making a change, it's not like buying health insurance and having to wait for open enrollment. At the end of the day, if you're looking to make a change, I'm going to give you 7 steps that might help you out. The first one is define what you don't want to do. And again, we're going to talk in terms of careers or employment or jobs. What is it you don't want to do? What is it you don't like about what you're currently doing? Make a list. Step number 2, define what it is you enjoy. Where do you find fulfillment? Make a list of those things you enjoy doing. Personally, back in 1996, I was an engineer working for a manufacturing company, had a desk in a cubicle in the engineering department. And looking back, I can clearly define exactly what it was I didn't like about that. I didn't like the cubicle. I didn't like how not busy I was. Even though we were a sizable operation, there's plenty of engineering. It just wasn't fast enough pace for me. I was bored. And I can go on with a list of things I didn't enjoy about that position, which ultimately led to things I do enjoy doing, including being self-employed. When you look at what do you enjoy, there's got to be something about your current position that you enjoy doing. Make a list of that. Understand that almost anybody today, thanks to technology, thanks to the internet, thanks to the fact that technology plus internet has really shrank the world, you can become an expert in almost anything. And if you're going to make a real change a year from now, you're either going to be in the same position or there's an opportunity for you to be an expert in a new field. It really is possible. Others have done it. You can too. Seek those that have been successful in what it is you want to do. And this would apply outside of the career piece, even if you're looking at achieving long-term change with health and wellness, dropping pounds and inches. Talk to somebody that's done it and maintain that new weight for the long haul. If we're looking at careers, who's doing what you want to do? Get in touch with them. Again, back to technology, the internet, social media, you really can get in touch with almost anybody today, whether it's through direct message or email, or even finding an address to send a snail mail letter or a phone number to make a phone call. Get in touch with those people doing the things that you want to do and ask questions. People love to share their journey, share their mistakes, and help you avoid making the mistakes that they made. And again, we're talking in terms of career, and this includes, and this is kind of my point or step number 5. If you're currently here in your organization and you want to move up, let's say you are currently a manager and you want to move into an executive position as director, go and ask your employer, what do you need to do to move from here up to here? Who in the organization has made that change and transition? What did they do? So that we're not talking just in terms of those that want to be entrepreneurs, small business owners, et cetera. This includes those that maybe you enjoy the company you work for, but you want to move up. Go find out what those steps are. Read. This is huge. I used to participate in an 8th grade career day at a local community college. Like 200 students would come through my classroom. I'd have 15 to 20 students for 15 to 20 minutes at a time to talk about careers, finding careers, what I did for a living, all of those things. And one of the biggest things I would share with those students was read. And this feeds into step 1 and 2. What is it you don't enjoy reading, and what do you enjoy reading? Because the things you enjoy reading, whether it's the internet, Kindle, hardcover, paperback, that's where your interests lie. And that might be that field, that might be that career, that might be that industry that you should be looking to become an expert in over the course of the next 12 months. And the other thing I would share with those 8th grade students was, hey, what do you read? Maybe you should explore a career and learning more about the industry you enjoy reading about. But also what I would share is this: if you can read and you don't, you might as well be illiterate, because an illiterate person doesn't read because they can't. And if you can read and are literate and you're not reading, well, you might as well be illiterate. So you've got to read. Step 7.7 is this: you got to believe it's possible for you. You got to believe if you can see that light in the distance at the end of the tunnel, if that's where you want to go, you got to believe that you can get there. If it's possible for one person, it's possible for another. So you have to believe it's possible, and you have to see yourself as being able to do that. Now, I can cite an example of a client. He had a government job, salary, pension, benefits, perceived job security, a few years away from retirement, the proverbial, golden goose, just wait it out, retire. He said, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go into this industry, into this field, and I want to be self-employed. So over the course of the better part of the next year and change, he became an expert in that field and walked away from that steady paycheck, pension, benefits. And today, a couple of short years later, he's tripled his income from that government job, and he's in full control of what he's doing. So it's possible. No one's destined today to be this or that career-wise. You can be anything, but you got to walk through and execute those steps I've laid out. I'll give you a personal example. I was speaking to a university class, and that particular class, I was brought in to guest lecture, and that particular class had a book that I'd written. I've written a number of books. You can find them on Amazon and check them out. And this particular class had one of my books on their syllabi. So it was a book they had to read. It wasn't terribly expensive, $20 paperback, $10 Kindle, something like that. And one of the students asked about getting a degree, career path, being successful, on and on and on. And they wanted to know if they had to have that degree, they had to have a master's. And I said, listen, here's an interesting fact. I'm here today to guest lecture. You guys have my book on your syllabi. I've never taken a class in your field of study, yet you have my book, and I'm here today to guest speak. Now, that's a product of spending years in the field, consistently executing, learning, doing firsthand, and becoming that expert in that industry, which is why I was able to write the book and be the guest lecturer. But my point to that student was, like, getting a degree or a master's degree doesn't equate with being able to do this. Like, you have to become that expert, and that is what's going to open the doors. That's what's going to create the opportunities. And again, you're not destined by default of earning those degrees to be able to go and do this. It doesn't work that way. So anything's possible. If you're looking at making a change and you're not watching this live, it could be April. It doesn't matter. Change isn't like open enrollment for buying health insurance, and why we still have to wait for open enrollment for insurance is beyond me. But you can make a change today. It doesn't matter. You don't need the first of the year. In fact, statistically, those New Year's resolutions don't work anyways. So get started, take action, define what you do not want to do, make the list of the things you enjoy, work on becoming an expert. 12 months from now, you can be in the same position, or you can be an expert doing something different. Seek out those that have been successful and ask questions. If you're in an organization and you're happy to be an employee, there's nothing wrong with that, and you want to move up, ask the organization how you move up. Ask them, say, what do I need to do to go from here to here? Point number 6, you got to read. And most importantly, you got to believe it's possible for you. Would love to see your goals. Share them below. Here's mine. I'm going to write, I'm going to speak, and I'm going to consult with small businesses. In fact, at the time I'm recording this, I've already got some appointments with small businesses that are brand new, I haven't worked with, set up for next week. And I had a client sign up and get started to work with our organization today. So I'm already off and running, but those are my goals. Write more, speak more, consult more. Would love to see yours. Post them below. Smallbusinesstogrow.com to learn more about who we are and what we do. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment below. Also, be sure to check us out on your favorite podcast provider. See the links in the description below.